It has become a hot-button term in the presidential race. Anchor babies. It's used to describe children born to non-citizens of the U.S., where citizenship is a birthright and seen as a way for other family members to secure legal residency. But many Americans find the term offensive, especially Latinos. And Donald Trump is catching flack for using it. Now Jeb Bush is too.
Do you regret using the term anchor babies yesterday on the radio?
No, I didn't. I don't regret it.
You don't regret it?
No. Do you have a better term?
I'm not. I'm asking you.
Okay.
A lot of folks
you give me a better term and I'll use it. I'm serious.
All right.
Don't yell at me behind my ear, though.
Sorry about that.
Jeez.
Language anchor baby. Is that not bombastic?
No, it isn't. Give me another word.
Trump tweeted this a short time ago. Quote, Jeb Bush signed a memo saying not to use the term anchor babies. Offensive. Now he wants to use it because I use it. Stay true to yourself. One GOP candidate not using it? Senator Marco Rubio. He said he calls these children human beings. CNN political commentators Ben Ferguson and Maria Cardona join us now to talk about this. Maria is also a Democratic strategist. So Trump was referring to Bush's advisory role for Hispanic Leadership Group. The group advised conservatives, quote, not to use this term. It's not clear if Bush signed any memo as Trump claims, but regardless, Ben, in your opinion, does Bush need to worry about alienating Hispanic voters by using this term?
I think he needs to worry more about being honest with what's really going on, and this is a political correctness gone to crazy land. If there is such a thing as an anchor baby, it has been around for a long time. It has been okay to say. Then you have people that say, well, if you use it, you're racist. The fact of the matter is there are people that come into this country from not just Mexico, all over the world, that actually do come here specifically to have a child that will anchor them in this country. And that seems to be what he was implying yesterday. But don't flip-flop on it. If you're going to say it, his biggest liability now is somehow backing away from it. And I think Donald Trump actually, this is why people like him. He's not afraid to have the blunt conversation. We do have a problem with anchor babies. It doesn't mean that it's negative towards the child. It's negative, if anything, towards the parent that is doing it and manipulating the system to their advantage on purpose.
All right, Maria, I see you kind of shaking your head there. Set the stage for us, though, in the Latino community. What is their reaction to this? Why is this term so offensive?
This term is incredibly offensive, Pam, because it actually legitimizes the dehumanization of our most vulnerable, of our most innocent, of children who, by the way, per the Constitution, are U.S. citizens. And in fact, people who use this term and who use it in a derogatory manner don't necessarily differentiate between the children of legal residents here, legal citizens even in some cases, and those who are undocumented. And that is why blanketing the term and using it as such is so offensive. If you want to talk about the policy, if you want to talk about what Ben referred to in terms of, you know, some people coming here to have children specifically so that they can be born U.S. citizens, then describe it as such. Don't use the term anchor babies, because you have a lot of Latinos in this country. You have a lot of Latinos in this country, Ben. Let me finish.
That.
You have a lot of Latinos in this country who have been referred to as having anchor babies who are U.S. citizens. For example, Pam, I am an immigrant. I was not born in this country. I have 2 U.S. citizen kids. Are they anchor babies? In the eyes of some in the extreme right wing, yes, they would be.
Again,
and that is not the way to have this conversation.
Everybody that uses the term, I wish, by the way, that you had this much compassion for standing up for children when it comes to issues like abortion, but you call them something else. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is somehow we have to stand up for this child that can't speak for themselves. This is, again, political correctness gone crazy. There are people, and you don't want to deal with the reality, that don't look at the child as anything but their way to get into this country and their way to stay in this country. There are people that abuse the system. It doesn't have to do with the child. And I'm not debating the fact that if you're born in America, you're an American citizen. I've been saying that for as long as we've had this discussion on the issue. But
well,
there
Trump
are
doesn't
people
believe that
specifically, and I'm not defending Trump. I want to make that abundantly clear. I've been criticizing Trump for months on end about what he said about saying, I want to get rid of American citizenship or birthright citizenship if you're born here. If you're born in this country, you are an American citizen. But make no mistake about it, the system is in fact broken, and there are people that specifically come across the border for the only reason to have a child in America so that they can stay in this country.
Then
it's more
talk about
them
it that
than it
way.
is about the child.
Then talk about it that way.
I just
don't
did.
call them. Don't call them anchor babies, because here's the problem, Ben, and this is a huge political problem.
It is an anchor baby when it anchors the parent here.
Okay, you know what? Continue to talk about it that way, because here's the political problem for your party. When you have a term that is being used that way and it is offensive to a huge constituency that Republicans cannot get to the White House without. When they cannot get to the White House without at least 40% of the Hispanic vote. Look at what happened to Mitt Romney when he claimed the term self-deportation.
Maria, I'm not talking about Mitt Romney.
Look at what happened to John McCain when he talked about building the dang fence.
I'm not talking about John McCain.
It worked well for them, didn't they? This is Jeb Bush,
Maria,
and you might agree. You might agree with me on this, Ben. Jeb Bush, I do think, is not being true to himself, because he, better than anybody, should know better than to use this term.
Okay.
Again, this is anchor baby was not offensive, Maria, until Democrats like yourself try to turn it into some sort of offensive term
Ben.
and act like there's a victim here. This was not an issue in 2008. It was an issue in 2000.
Talk to Mexican immigrants in the Southwest who have suffered from this kind of discrimination for years and years and years. And so they will tell you this is an absolutely derogatory term, and if you're going to use it in a blanket way, there is no way that this Republican Party or anybody representing it will ever reach the White House.
Okay, Ben Ferguson, Maria Cardona, thank you for that lively discussion.
Thank
we
you,
appreciate
Pam.
it.
Thanks.